You must be asking yourself right now, what does a stone restoration company have to tell me about real estate that I don't already know? Well, stick around and you may learn a thing or two in the next few minutes. Meanwhile, consider subscribing to our channel below, hit the notification bell button to keep up with all of our video releases. If you are a New York City real estate agent, you already know that the city's real estate buyers and sellers are demanding, and usually stand their ground when it comes to their willingness to spend or to capitalize on a real estate. This has never been so true during these times of coronavirus. Most people think the real estate market is taking a huge plunge this year as we see the number of Manhattan apartments sitting empty reach the 13,000 mark. While this is not entirely incorrect, there are a few factors that most are not taking into consideration. Since Governor Cuomo ordered a state shutdown for non-essential workers back on March 22, some Manhattan residents have decided to flee the cluttered central area to homes in Long Island, Jersey, and Connecticut, thus leaving a feeling of uncertainties in the air for all of those that stayed behind. However, Long Island homes have seen a 33% drop on inventory and a 9% increase in value this past quarter alone, and hitting a record 21% value increase this year, as buyers influx these markets competing for new homes. So how about these 13,000 vacant apartments in the city? As the city entered phase 4 of the reopening plan back on July 20th, the numbers of vacancies are still on the rise. But this scenario won't stand for a long time. Since property prices and rent are dropping, investors are starting to speculate to capitalize on the bounce back the city will see in towards the future. So now, listen carefully. This is where real estate agents should focus and pay close attention. It doesn't matter if you are currently helping a client buy a new home for the best bang for the buck, or helping a client sell or rent its property for the highest asking price. Real estate agents have to pay close attention to details. That's right. Pay close attention to the smallest details. And why are we saying this? Well, think about the question we are about to ask. What's the worst that can happen when trying to close a deal on a real estate? If you are a realtor helping a client buy a new property, you will definitely say, the buyer backing out on the closing stage. And if you are a realtor trying to rent or sell a property, not finding renters or buyers willing to pay the asking price, thus depreciating the property's value, and worst of all, sitting vacant. In the past few months, we have noticed a big negative trend going on, and it has everything to do with paying close attention to details. Why do we know this trend has something to do with details? Well, we are a residential and commercial stone refinishing and maintenance service provider. We offer polishing services, scratch and stain removal services, and a variety of other services for kitchen countertops, bathroom floors, walls, as well as lobby maintenance services for buildings. And we work with hundreds of real estate agents and management companies across New York. Every day we hear another horror story from a real estate agent or management company about clients backing out on a deal or getting cold feet because someone didn't pay close attention to an easy-to-fix detail. This is a true story we are about to tell you, that happened a few weeks ago. That some of you may have heard it. We got a call from an agent requesting an emergency work in a newly developed building in the Upper East Side on First Avenue, between 72nd and 73rd Street. The agent was desperate because she had a Swiss investor that had flown to New York with his wife to close a $4.5 million deal on a unit in this building. However, the investor threatened to back out of the deal when he and his wife found stone bruises on the marble floors and vanity tops inside the bathrooms. Let's pause here for a second. For all of you that don't know what stone bruising is, it's the tiny white dots that usually appear just beneath the stone surface. This is usually caused by bumping the stone to a stiff surface or letting tools drop on it during the delivery or installation process, to an extent that the stone doesn't crack on the surface, but it chips in its inner layer. Just as when you hit your arm or leg on a hard surface to an extent that you don't cut yourself, however, you get a bruise after a couple of hours. Okay. Back to the story. The same agent had called us a month before the final walkthrough with the client, and she requested a quote to have this same problem resolved. We estimated the job to be no more than $850. However, after speaking with the developer, they decided not to have the floors and vanity tops fixed. At the end, we ended up fixing the issue, and the developer ended up selling the unit for $4.3 million for the same investor. A $200,000 loss, all because of an $850 quick fix they decided not to do. Another clear example is this master bathroom in a Soho apartment listed for rent. The homeowner didn't want to spend the money fixing it up, after a renowned marble care company from New York City charged him whopping $4,000 to refinish the bathroom. The unit remained vacant until the real estate agent decided to call us for a free consultation. For the homeowner and the agent's surprise, it cost them less than $2,500 to have the master bathroom fully refinished by us, and after 3 days, the lease was signed on the unit. This goes to show that paying attention to small details pays off, and helps increase the overall value of the unit. The National Association of Realtors estimates that a well-maintained property has its value increased by 12 to 15%. Most clients will think twice before buying or renting a property that will need some type of repair, and those who are willing to close on the deal will bargain the price to a much lower number than it would cost to have the problem fixed. Clients are very demanding in New York, especially now during COVID-19, where the supply is bigger than the demand. To keep ahead on the game, you, the real estate agent, must pay close attention to the finest details. Any mistakes made and your client may get cold feet and walk out of the deal. We hope you and your loved ones are safe. And we see you on the next Stone Talk of the Week, by the Stone Guys New York.